and you're all set.
How are you, India?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. It's great to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you too.
And
Virtually.
go ahead.
It's lovely to virtually meet you too.
That's right. Congratulations on the show getting renewed. That's great.
Thank you. Yay.
Yeah. You've been in some of my favorite shows with very long names, like Kevin Probably Saves the World, which I just love, and Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Yeah. It's true. I do keep ending up in shows with very long names.
Well, maybe since Night Court is short, it'll last longer.
Hey, here's hoping.
So tell us how you first got involved with the show. What was your audition process like?
I had just auditioned for another Peacock show. I just tested for a Peacock show that I didn't get the part. And I was taking a little break with my husband. We were in a hotel together and my phone rang the day that I found out I didn't get that part. And my rep said, "Hey, we have something for you. It's not the role that's just gone. It's something new, same kind of network. But it's a straight to test, which is a lovely thing to have happen. And the test is essentially the part of the process where it's down to you and maybe 3 or 4 other actors. And you have a work session, work the part, and then you tape these days, most likely, a test, and that gets shown to the studio and network, and they make a decision. And so I was fortunate enough to kind of skip all the initial hurdles that happened before that. Went on to my work session with Melissa and Dan and Pam Fryman and Jewel Bestrup, our casting director. Had a hoot, loved them. Then we made a tape, sent it off, and a few days later I got a call that I got the job.
That's great. I thought you were British and had a British accent for some reason.
I am British. My accent's messed up. So if I'm with my mom, the British accent comes out a whole lot more. And ironically, she's the same. She's from the north of England and was born with a very thick northern accent, but has lived in London her whole life. So when she's in London, she's very well spoken and posh. And then somebody from my family in Liverpool will call her, and all of a sudden her thick Scouse accent comes out. So apparently we are just a mess of accents as a family.
Well, it's good for you because you can play the American accent really well.
I now the issue is that I now have to pay attention either way, because right now, as we're speaking, there'll be certain words that come out where you can hear my English accent. So now, no matter what I'm doing, I have to put on an accent. Otherwise, I just end up like a transatlantic hybrid.
Right. It's funny. My husband's family is from New England, and he was a baby when they left there, but his parents had very thick accents. And so they moved to California when he was a baby. So he speaks with this weird accent, and he often gets accused of sounding like he's from England or something because he says certain words strangely compared to the rest of his speech. That's funny.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I wonder if we'll all end up sounding the same in the end.
Yeah, I know. So had you watched the original Night Court before you got the part?
I watched it after I got once they called and said that they wanted me to test for the role. I went and checked it out so that I could get a feel for what the show was. We didn't get it in England, I don't think. I asked my mom and she said she never saw it. So, but I knew what it was. I just had never watched the show. So I watched it, auditioned for it, got the job, and then binged and continued to watch it through the season, which was kind of nice because I'd watch an episode and then go into work and be like, "So John, tell me about that time that you were jumping on tables or jumping into a closet," or and ask him about specific guest stars. And it was kind of neat to have that experience with him.
Have you watched it all now, or are you still watching it?
No, I still have to watch the last couple seasons, which I'm planning to do before I go into before I start filming this current season. Yeah, and it's also a delightful show to get to watch. If I didn't have a 4-year-old, I'd get to watch a lot more TV.
Right. Did they give you much backstory for your character, or did you just go by the dialogue in the script?
You get a breakdown when you audition. So I had a breakdown of the character, and I got to see sort of the general gist of where they wanted to go with the role. But I think a lot of it actually also happens after you book the job. I think they have an idea, you have an idea, hopefully it aligns. Mm-hmm. And then throughout the course of the show, we start to discover more about the character. And I think the writers lean to your skill set and what you're bringing to the role. And she sort of evolves we do it together, I guess, throughout the course.
Right. And is there going to be more that we learned this season about your character and in terms of her family or whatever?
I think we get little tidbits of information from Olivia along the way. I'm certainly hoping that in the next season we get a little bit more. But yeah, she has a nice journey throughout the course of the series in terms of her relationship with Night Court and what it means to her, and that's sort of a sweet sideline to follow along with.
Okay, and what's been the most challenging part of playing Olivia?
Oof, most challenging part. Not breaking on set. Honestly,
Sure.
I mean, Lakrita is one of the funniest people I've ever met, and Olivia and Gergs have a lot of scenes together, and she just gets me. I am the worst for being the first to go. And then once you throw in, you know, John Larroquette throwing out zingers, it's impossible not to keep a straight face. And I've never been good at that. I've always been terrible for stifling a laugh. So yes, that's the biggest challenge.
And is there anything you can tell us about the remaining episodes that aren't spoilers?
Yeah, we have some of my favorites coming up. Lyric Lewis is going to be on the show, Melissa Villasenor, Pete Holmes. We have some really great episodes down the line, and we may or may not have some other interesting guest stars that I may or may not be able to talk about that should be very interesting for our audience.
Oh, cool, cool. And you mentioned that it's easy to break up on the set. Are there any behind the scenes funny stories, anything like that?
Oh God. I mean, we had a lot of accidents. This poor guy came in to be in one of our, I think it was one of the earlier episodes. Wait, I should check that I'm not saying a spoiler before I yeah, I'm gonna have to put a tab in that because I'm not sure if I'm spoiling something or not. But we have some animals all over the place repeatedly. We've got a really fun episode coming up that's sort of around weddings, which is one of my favorites. And yeah, oh, Kurt Fuller also is going to be joining the cast down the line. There's all kinds of fun stuff to come.
Oh, cool. And you've done comedy, drama, voiceovers. Which do you enjoy the most?
I think multicam to me is the biggest challenge. And I'm hoping to really learn and shape the way that I attack multicam, and I just want to keep getting better and better and better at it. And thanks to getting to observe the people around me, hopefully I will learn from them, and that will help me in that journey. The most professionally fulfilled I think I've ever felt was probably on Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I think there was a moment when I was shooting the song Happier with John, and both of us were standing there flooding with we had been crying for 4 hours straight because it's this emotional breakup dance, both singing, beautiful performance moment. And I just remember kind of standing there thinking, wow, I'm really using every single skill set I have ever had in 1 2-minute piece. And that was, I think John, both and I kind of noted how magical that moment was to make that together, and also to make it with somebody I love so much. It was really, really special.
Great. And is there anything else besides Night Court that you're working on or that you have coming out that you can tell us about?
You can check me out on Netflix right now, Firefly Lane, and season 2 of Firefly Lane, and also in Slumberland, starring Jason Momoa and Marlo Barkley, which is a really delightful movie, directed by Francis Lawrence, from Hunger Games franchises. And I just directed my second music video, which I'm currently editing. That shall hopefully come out in the next couple months for a track called Karma.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you talking to me, and I look forward to the rest of Night Court.
This was a pleasure. Thanks so much for checking out the show.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you